Burnout is a word that we talk about often in the industry, but for many folks, it's not until you actually reach that point and feel it that it becomes concrete in a way you wish it wasn't. It hits in ways that you both anticipate and also are unique and surprising, and often comes with a lot of guilt and shame. So, how do we work through this process? How do we find an opportunity to restore parts of who we are, to be able to move forward and grow? Our next speaker has dealt with a lifetime of creative burnout and has found ways to take care of himself. He has nearly 1 million gamer score to his name, and also some pretty good reasons why he hasn't passed that threshold. So our next speaker, tabletop role-playing game designer, please welcome Quinn Blackwell.
This talk is about something really personal to me. The kind of talk that I wish someone had given me when I was younger and trying to figure it out all on my own. It's about creativity, burnout, and the habits that help you stay in the game and in love with it. At the heart of this talk is a quote that my dad used to say, one that has stuck with me since I was young. At first, I hated the quote because of what I thought it meant. But as I've gotten older and burned out more times than I can count, I started to see it in a new light. You aren't lost until you run out of gas. It sounded careless, irresponsible even. I always thought that it was just him making excuses for why he always took a wrong turn or didn't want to pull out a map. But now, as a neurodivergent creative with bipolar 1 and ADHD, I hear something different in those words. This talk is about how that quote helped me grow into the person that I am today and allowed me to reshape the way that I treat myself and the things that I do. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Where are my manners? I'm Quinn Blackwell, a game designer, creative writer, and a chronic overthinker. I love horror, weird worlds, and stories that linger, and I guess I'm a poet as well. I design and publish horror TTRPGs, handling everything from the first idea to the final release. Along the way, I've had the chance to collaborate with some amazing folks, and I'm so excited to work with even more. I also love the power that stories hold, whether it's through actual plays, story-driven podcasts, or games. I've been playing games since I was old enough to hold an unplugged Mad Catz, while my older siblings tried to convince me that I was playing as well. They would constantly ask me, "You see that little floating thing right there? Yeah, that's you." I come from a family of creatives, whether it be physical mediums or digital or anything in between. And being, the baby of the family, having a 9-year split in this, it brings a different perspective to a lot of things. And with that comes being able to see other people's successes, other people's failures, and it gives you a very early chance to learn from them and to follow in their footsteps. When I first started, this creative journey, it was very much with the expectation of video games, either, playing them excessively or wanting to make them, create these worlds that people could live inside of. But as I've explored the creative space and I've done more and more, I've found myself in this wonderful small niche community of the TTRPG space. I think that for me though, gaming has always been that creative outlet, that opportunity to experience other things. But from such a young age, it had a little bit of a negative warp for me. I still love video games and I still love all of the opportunities and like the stories that they've brought for me. But there was a point where my enjoyment for games started to warp into accomplishment. And those started to be connected to each other, whether that be gamer score or achievements or leaderboards. And while these things are perfectly fine in moderation, they poison my creative well. kind of creating a Pavlovian response of sorts. At some point, I wasn't making things because I loved them. I was making things because I had to stay relevant, visible, productive. Projects became checklists. I shipped them because I felt like I couldn't afford not to. And when I couldn't keep up, shame stepped in. You're not working hard enough. You should be further by now. Your pace is proof you're failing. The spark didn't just fade, it disappeared. And when it was gone, I didn't feel stuck. I felt broken. I didn't fix burnout by doubling down. I didn't hack my productivity. What helped me get back to creativity wasn't a calendar or content strategy. It was care. It was listening to what felt good and what my body wanted. The spark came back in bits and pieces. At times, it didn't feel like it was coming back at all, but sometimes you have to push through those harder bits. And in order to keep it from going out again, I wanted to build a structure, a set of pillars that I could use to help support me when I didn't always have the energy to support myself. The first step, the first pillar, make the things that are for you. It's way too easy being a creative in this world to constantly chase metrics or clout or any type of thing that is marketable or is enticing for creatives. But truthfully, if you don't love the things, then why put in all of the time and effort? It's a tricky thing to hear. It's a tricky thing to like put all of that effort and that attention into when you can't expect eyes on whatever project or whatever thing you're doing. But it's just one of those things that you have to accept. And in doing that, you can feel a lot better in your creative process. The second pillar, be kind to your past self and supportive of your future self. So this can get a little heady and it feels, almost a little too self-help at times. But I think that a big focus of it is everyone has, worked jobs before for people who don't respect their time, who don't respect their energy. And it takes a lot out of us. And we do those things because we have to make ends meet. But if we are willing to put that time and energy out for those who, let's be honest, don't really care about our time and energy, then we should be willing to put that work and effort into ourselves, into the business that is us. And that really does come down to understanding that, like, even if you are working by yourself, even if you're working with a group, it's important to understand that you yourself are a team, that it's very easy to look back at the things that past you have done and get very much in your own head about how past you should have done more. And it's very easy to take things that are expected of us right now and kick them down the road and expect that future us will handle them. But the best thing that we can do for ourselves is to understand that our past self didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the understanding that we have now, and that they got us to this point. And even though it would have been better if they could have gotten us further, this isn't a race for a single person. This is a race for a team. They've gotten the baton to this point. They've handed it off. And as you personally right now, it's very important to understand that the work and effort that you put in right now carries dividends. It goes into the future. And with that comes the fact that if you make something easier for future you, that's something that you won't have to do at that point in time. And if you look at everything in this sense, it helps simplify things. And it can feel like you're just going out and essentially getting coffee for everyone else. But prepping your future self, maybe that coffee run is something that can help future you do the things that they need to do. And lastly, the third pillar is something that I've already slightly touched on, but treat it like a marathon, not a sprint. It's very easy to look online and to see how to do this thing in 30 days, or like how to hack your brain in order to figuring X, Y, or Z out. But if you don't have that structure, that ground laid, then it's very difficult to build anything on top of that foundation. It really does come down to the fact that we want the satisfaction of the end, but it's a long road. It's a long road, and it's a tricky road, and we very much want that satisfaction, and that's not a bad thing. It's just something that we need to temper the expectation of. So with these three pillars, I like to specify that they aren't rules. They're not things to be locked in place. They are beacons. They're something that can help you when you are lost in the dark, something that can bring light or energy to you. It's the lighthouse that helps me find my way back to the shore. This talk is a letter to younger me, the one who thought he had to earn rest, the one who felt like a failure every time he just slowed down. Now, I hear my dad's quote differently. You aren't lost until you run out of gas. It doesn't mean don't plan. It doesn't mean to just expect things to fall into place. It means that even if the path is unclear, you're still in motion. Even when the tank is low, you're not broken, you're just tired. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need to be fast or flawless or even the best in the room. You just need enough fuel to keep going. Thank you for letting me share this. Truth be told, this was never a how to be productive talk. It was a how to be gentle with yourself talk. A talk I wish someone had given to me when I thought burning out meant I wasn't cut out for this. If any of this resonated, if you've ever felt your spark fading, I hope this gave you something to hold on to. Be kind to your spark, make weird things, and take plenty of breaks. You don't have to earn it, you deserve it. And remember, you're not lost. You're just enjoying the journey. Thank you for this time.
Thank you so much for that talk, Quinn. It is hard to treat yourself with care and compassion when you have reached a point that feels like failure. But if it is instead a step on the journey, if it is instead an opportunity for you to fill the gas tank back up, to find new motivation, to treat your system, yourself with care, be able to build something better in the future, something different even. Isn't that worth it? I hope that you take some time to take care of yourself. And if you are experiencing some burnout, I hope that you took away some meaningful tips from this. If you'd like to keep up with Quinn, you can find their work on itch.io under Quinn Blackwell. You can also follow him on Blue Sky under the same name.